This was supposed to be a $300 project, but somewhere between the plans, the mistakes, and the weekends that got away, the budget kinda disappeared. And somehow, it still became our favorite place. Keep watching because if you've ever thought I could never do that, this might change your mind. And by the end, you'll see how even the most chaotic projects can still become the coziest corners. Before we even started digging, we had no idea how many pavers we'd need.
Yeah, it was just a little bit. Yeah.
So at Lowe's, we found the demo fire pit ring on display, but it was smaller than the one we were buying. So we did what any Delulu beginners would do. We laid the pavers around it anyway and tried to guess the math by eye. It looked about right. So we said 42, perfect. Turns out, for once, our chaotic planning actually worked.
Yay! Good job!
Mission: get everything in one trip. Except the cart weighed more than both of us combined. Tony used his full military strength to push it. I filmed. That's teamwork. Just getting everything onto the cart, to the truck, and into the truck was a whole project. Back home with a mountain of supplies, we were ready, or we thought we were. Because the real battle was waiting underground. If you've ever thought I'd love to try but I totally mess it up,
Thought it's gonna be easy.
yeah, that's exactly where we were. Keep watching, you'll see how it actually turns out. Before the digging, I wanted a quick win, so we decided to assemble the star of the show, the fire pit ring. We learned that smokeless fire pits need air vents, but drilling through solid steel was not happening. We're just learning as we go, not auditioning for Mythbusters. So we chose this Amazon ring instead, already vented, easy assembly, and honestly, look at it. The little star and clover cutouts made me feel like we accidentally bought the fancy version. It even came with a grill top, so we can cook on it later. Pure Delulu luxury. Tony carried it down to the site like a championship belt.
Why you have to hold it like that?
I don't know, easiest way.
Okay.
Except he wore it around his neck.
I guess this is the easiest way.
Yeah.
He was right. It was the Delulu way. We did a quick layout to see how many pavers we'd need.
So you're not making it like perfect size?
No, because you need the air to come up through from the backside.
Nice.
Turns out about 40, we had bought 42. By the end, we used 41.
I think we're exactly perfectly one brick short.
One left. Like the universe gave us a little pat on the back. For once, our chaotic planning actually worked. If you want to try this yourself, everything we used is grouped below as a beginner-friendly vibe starter kit. That's your easiest starting point. We had to dig 8 inches deep, which sounds simple, but the shovel hits roots, roots, more roots, and actual trash.
Oh, look, nice bottle.
Glass?
Yeah.
Someone before us lived here chaotically. Tony dug for hours. I called a mandatory break. Our hardest worker of all, Oreo, took a water break too, like she'd been managing our emotions all day. She drank like being your supervisor is exhausting. Relatable. There was a moment I looked at the half-dug circle and said, this is fine, deep enough, let's stop. But Tony said if we're going to do this, we're going to do it right. 8 inches, no shortcuts. And I realized this is what building a home really looks like. Not aesthetic, not effortless, just choosing not to quit. One tiny moment at a time. Then you look up, the lake, the breeze, the quiet, and you remember why. So we kept going. After forever, we finally had the depth. Tony brought out a string line and a floating leveler. One problem, neither of us knew the knot.
So you have to look it up?
YouTube University, immediate enrollment.
Never end digging?
Yep,
Is this the hardest part?
for sure.
Once it was level, we pulled the guide stakes. I tried. I really tried. They didn't move. Tony walked over, grabbed one, and somehow it came out so easily.
Everything is so easy for you.
I just stared like, how? Whatever. Next step was the gravel base. We needed a lot, and our budget said no. Enter my Delulu master plan. We relocated gravel from an old garden bed. Gorilla Cart was the main character. Not a cart, a survival system for the low energy girl. Because moving gravel once instead of 22 times is the difference between finishing a project and lying face down in the yard for eternity. And by we moved the gravel, I mean Tony did, I supervised. Again, teamwork. We laid the recycled gravel, and as the sun set, our backs screamed.
It's so hard.
We stopped. Rest counts too. Home is the new escape. If you've been telling yourself, I'll start next weekend, maybe this is your sign to start small, like one wheelbarrow small. New day, same bags.
Are you excited for day 2?
Oh yeah.
Sand time. We thought we were almost done until we realized we'd only bought 4 bags of sand. Rookie mistake.
Yeah, I think it looks pretty good. I think we should probably go get sand now.
Back to Lowe's, then again, and again. By the 3rd trip, the employees were like, "Back for more sand?" Yes, always, forever. The never-ending trip to Lowe's. At this point, Lowe's should probably give us a special membership card. This is the part DIY videos never show. Tiny adjustments. Endless smoothing. Existential despair.
What are you doing?
Huh?
I was so close to quitting again. But then you remember the why. We're building a home we never want to leave. Not because it's perfect, but because it's ours. If you're there too, you're already doing enough. That's the real secret. Not talent, not money, just refusing to stop when it's ugly. We thought laying pavers would be easy. It was not. Spacing, adjusting, redoing. Then my mother-in-law arrived. Now we have 3 captains on one circular ship with opinions and a chisel.
Nice.
Eventually, Tony made one paver fit. Not perfect, but pretty enough. That's the Delulu way. We stacked the next layers with liquid nails. My back was screaming, but Tony had been working so hard for 2 straight days, so I just kept going. I wanted to stop here, but Tony said, let's keep going. So we did. We used every bit of strength left. Spreading mortar, stacking bricks, sealing gaps tight. The ring finally fit perfectly into the circle. To make it smokeless, we had to seal every inside the bricks and around the ring. Every crevice, every line. We were covered in dust, mortar, and determination. But somehow, it looked beautiful. Our version of it anyway. And just when we thought we were done, it started to rain. We couldn't even test it. We had to wait for it to cure 7 to 10 days for the high heat mortar to fully dry and at least a few days before lighting the first fire. Except the rain wouldn't stop. The next day, when the sky finally cleared, we brought Oreo down to check out Masterpiece. She inspected everything like a tiny supervisor, tail wagging, judging. And that's when we noticed it. The white mortar against the black fire ring. It looked rough. Way too bright. Not the cozy, moody vibe we imagined. Up until then, we thought maybe we don't even need capstones. But now, we needed capstones. So the next mission began, finding the perfect stone. We went to Lowe's, nothing. Home Depot, still nothing. Finally, we drove to a local stone yard on the weekend. If we'd gone there first, life would have been easier. They had everything. Multiple professional fire pit kits, custom sizes, colors. And for a split second, I questioned every life choice that led to DIY. But ordering one meant waiting 3 weeks, and we were so done waiting. Then I spotted something. Garden bed stones by the entrance. Triangular shaped, simple, and surprisingly perfect. I asked if they'd work for a fire pit. They said yes, and way cheaper too. The staff even ran the numbers for our 36-inch inner circle and helped us load the exact count. We took them home, laid everything out, and of course one was broken and one was missing. So back we went. Again. Tony picked through every stack in the warehouse until he found 2 perfect replacements. He filled every last crevice. It finally fit.
Yay, that looks so pretty. Isn't it so pretty?
Yeah.
Last time we kind of guessed. We eyeballed the mortar mix and it was way harder than we expected. So this time, we swore to do it right. Tony brought out a travel scale, yes, an actual luggage scale, and measured every batch down to the gram. We followed the recipe like it was a Michelin dish. Then we drove to Lowe's again for tint. There was a color chart and ratios. But the truth, tinting is pure chaos. We were going for charcoal gray, so I mixed it by fill. My own Delulu version of color science. Tony attached the mixer to the drill and started spinning it like a pro. Mortar flying, music playing, me pretending this was pottery class. He handled the bottom layers, pressing mortar deep between the bricks, and I followed behind, soothing the seams, the finishing department. At one point, I climbed inside the ring, sitting on my little garden chair because my legs gave up. Honestly, that chair saved my life. And when the color finally set, it was perfect. Soft gray, moody, and somehow elegant. For once, Delulu science actually worked. And then we thought we were done. The structure looked perfect. I said, okay, we're at the finish line. All that's left is the chairs. But of course, the universe had one last joke for us. The stubborn old stump we'd ignored the whole time. There was no way we could put our beautiful new chairs next to that. It had to go. The project wasn't over. So Tony grabbed his shovel again. He dug for hours, fighting roots like a final boss battle. Finally, the monster came out.
This is crazy. It's a huge stump. How long did it take?
2 hours.
Oh my god.
Maybe like 3 if you include all of the days.
But victory didn't last long because now we had a crater.
You gonna help?
Yes,
Nice.
I always help.
Nice.
That's really mean thing to ask.
And the entire ground around the fire pit looked like a battlefield. I thought the cleanup would be the easy part. I was wrong. Again, at first, we tried moving dirt from right beside the pit, one shovel at a time, a little closer each trip.
Feel like we are, burying a dead body or something.
Yeah.
But the more we filled, the more uneven it looked. So out came the gorilla cart again.
You start at the top, it's much easier.
I'm doing it. Thank you very much. I'm doing my best.
Yeah, I just don't want you to get tired.
I am already tired. Ow!
Thanks.
Excuse you. I think we need to change the spot
Why?
because...
Because you got longer arms?
Oh, never mind. Go back. No, I thought because I'm right-handed, it was so much easier.
3 or 4 more rounds of hauling dirt, tamping, raking, repeating.
Yeah, everybody knows that you have longer arm. Who else gonna have longer arm than you ever?
The new mic probably caught every single breath.
Everybody.
Always make fun of me.
Hours later, we looked around and said, okay, it's almost clean, right? Okay, wait for it. Clap. There. Now, that's better. Every project needs a little movie magic. Finally, okay. Now, the structure was finally done. The ground was clear. Time for the moment I'd been dreaming of. Bringing down the chairs. Except they weren't exactly ready to bring down because they came in boxes. 6 boxes. Tony built one, then looked at me and said, okay, only 5 more to go. We laughed, then cried, then kept going slowly. Not all at once, just in between everything else. A chair here, a chair there, whenever we had the energy. Until one day, all 6 were finally done. Little by little, one at a time. Until the lake finally had its circle. We arranged them in a semicircle facing the lake. Everyone needed to see that view. After all that work, this felt like the reward, like the destination. And most importantly, we had a very specific problem to solve. My husband Tony is 6'5", which means comfort is non-negotiable. I went down a dark Adirondack chair rabbit hole until I found the one on Amazon, a tall back version built for actual humans. It arrived, we tested it, and pure bliss. He leaned back, didn't move for 5 minutes, and said, yeah, this was worth every shovel of dirt. And honestly, that's the moment I realized comfort is what makes you use a space, not just build it. If you're building your own little vibe corner, I linked everything that made ours work. The ring, the cart, the lights, and yes, the tall back chair, and passed the husband test. As the sun started to set, something still felt missing. The fire pit was built, the chairs were perfect, but it didn't feel magical yet. It needed one last touch.
That's why we got 200 feet long.
Okay.
So we can do probably 2 running here.
We opened the 200-foot box of solar string lights, hoping it would reach. Tony climbed the tall ladder while I held it steady and gave very important creative direction from the ground. And somehow, the lights fit exactly. A little Delulu magic. He even nailed the solar panel to a tree. And with that, it was finally truly completely done. This was supposed to be a weekend project, but working only on weekends and after work, with the weather getting colder and our motivation fading, it took almost a month. But this feeling of accomplishment, you can't describe it. Remember when this was supposed to be a $300 project? Yeah, about that. By the end, we stopped counting receipts. But every extra hour, every extra dollar, it all built this feeling right here. Honestly, the vibes, and it was worth every single penny. Because why go out when home has everything? This is where the budget went. The structure, the fixes, the learning, but mostly the vibes. Not perfect, just ours. We're building the life we don't need a vacation from. For our fellow beginners, the full vibe starter kit, fire ring with vents and grill, gorilla cart, tall back chair, solar lights, and tint tips is linked below. Thank you for watching. This is Lake Me Alone, where chaos turns cozy and home becomes everything.